And I think we can be heard now. Maybe. I think we're recording. Hello, Rachel. How are you?
Hi, Mr. Miller. I'm good. How are you doing today?
I am amazing. As of right now, as soon as I get done reading this next little piece of clip here, you're going to morph into our guest. But I think you
Oh
knew
boy,
that. Are
I'm
you
a little
excited?
nervous. I'm
You a little
nervous.
nervous? You a little nervous? Just a lot
Now I know
nervous or
how
a
our
little nervous?
guests feel.
Yeah. Ooh, there we go. I'm going to mute that thing. And then I'm going to go over and I'm going to grab one of these and grab this one, maybe. And I'm going to say, welcome to the Rachel and Mr. Miller podcast, where we cover real estate, real life, the occasional topic that might raise an eyebrow. We are licensed residential and commercial real estate professionals, refreshers, licensed residential and commercial real estate professionals in this podcast. This podcast is for entertainment and general informational purposes only. Nothing you hear should be considered legal, financial, tax, medical, fitness, or other professional advice. And listening does not create a client advisory,
Relationship.
a client relationship. Client advisory, a client relationship. And I told you that's what it's right. What you hear is our opinions, our experiences, our conversations before starting any new exercise or fitness programs. And you may have an idea what we're going to be talking about today. Movement program, please consult your personal doctor or physician or otherwise qualified professional. Enjoy this podcast like you would an adult beverage. And with that, I will close that. I will make that go over here. And then I will say, here's our audience. They're ready to hear us. And there they are. Hear them? Oh, it's not hearing us. Well, thought they were.
I'd
Okay.
like to say that our disclaimer is getting longer and longer. Pretty soon, it's going to be 30 minutes long.
It is. You're right. I think that's funny. So Rachel is going to be our guest today. And as soon as I can find today, okay, there it is
Versus
right
a
there.
co-host, right?
Yeah. Well, now you're a co-host, but today you're our guest. So I'm going to read your bio that you didn't know that I did.
Oh God.
Are you afraid?
Yeah, because Miller, you
I'll be
can
nice,
go
I promise.
rogue sometimes.
Today, we've got Rachel with us. Not only is she the podcast host, but she's also has a strong background in fitness, wellness, and nutrition. She studied fitness and wellness and earned her master's degree in nutrition. She's also a yoga instructor, a Pilates instructor, a dance instructor for people of all ages. This combination gives her a broad and practical view of health, movement, and everyday well-being. She understands how people can feel better when they move better and take better care of themselves in ways that really work in real life. And with that, we're glad to have her with us today as not only my co-host, but I'm going to see my co-host isn't here, and now we today have Rachel. So, see, I told you I was going to be nice.
That was nice.
See, I told you.
I am not a yoga instructor, but I am an enthusiast.
Oh, so you still won't do goat yoga with me, though?
Not enthusiastically.
That was good.
Say that I did do puppy yoga a couple weeks ago, and I will have a social media little surprise coming out in the next few weeks highlighting that. And I do have to say that puppy yoga was exactly how you would imagine. The funnest thing that you can do in, 45.
Was there wine involved?
No, it was in the morning, and it was after a night of wine. And so thankfully there wasn't a whole lot of hardcore yoga going on. We did our best to focus, and then, the puppies had their own idea, and oh my gosh, it was pure joy. We're really me and my two besties went, and we left so silly happy. We had no idea that it was going to be so fun.
You've done puppy yoga. I even sent you pictures of goats when I was
You did. I'm not doing yoga with goats. Goat eyeballs totally freak me out. I don't want them. They eat everything. I don't like goat poop.
What if they're small? What if they're baby goats? Not happening?
No.
Okay.
Puppies
Hard pass.
and kittens. It's kind of like where it ends for me.
So, Rachel, as I mentioned in the intro here, you have been, when I met you years ago, you had just received your degree in nutrition. And at one point you were also a PE teacher or something like that, if I remember right.
Let me help you, Mel. Let me help you. Let me help you.
Why don't you help me? A long time ago.
You with these facts. When we met, I was pretty much I was 27 years old. So I had just came back from Las Vegas, Nevada. I graduated UNLV. I went away to a 4-year later in life at 23, and I graduated at 26, I think. And I studied sports and recreation and a little bit of hospitality. So when I came back to Thousand Oaks, I started working for Parks and Rec. Before I left for UNLV, I did a lot of Parks and Rec jobs, and it's a great place to start as a young person because you get to do a whole bunch of things. I was a camp counselor. I was a preschool teacher aide. One of the many things that I did was I had a full schedule of teaching children dance. So it was dance, tumbling, ballet, tap, all of that stuff through Parks and Rec.
I tumble all
And
by
then
myself.
say that again?
I tumble all by myself.
Yeah, right. You do. And don't put a shovel or a rake in there because.
Or a rock.
So when you and I met, I was going through a divorce at the time, and working for Parks and Rec was not paying the bills enough. So you and I started working at Pac Bell together. So I had my bachelor's degree. I did not have my master's yet. Flash forward, way forward. I went back to school at I think I was about 47 when I went back to school and got my master's through Logan University, which is in Missouri. So that was a big change going back to school after so many years, and school and technology had changed so much. It was a very big challenge, but I did it, and my goal was to graduate before I turned 50, and I graduated this of my 49th birthday. And I have to say that the knowledge that I learned and how I was able to integrate that into my life still shows up today. It was amazing. And I proved to myself that I can do really, really hard things. And that's pretty good. Love
I
that.
think I think that's awesome. One of the reasons last week when I called you and said, I think you sent me a message, do we have a host this week or a guest this week? I said, yes, her name is Rachel. And you sent me a message back of, oh
Oh,
my,
geez.
ugh,
Geez, oh, I didn't know I was on the docket.
stop, go to voicemail. One of the things I was thinking about is real estate isn't stressful at all.
No,
And today's obviously opposite day. It's being
thank you.
realtor is very stressful. Selling a home is stressful. Buying a home is stressful. And there are people that simply don't realize how stressful it is. And then when you're in the process of selling or buying said home, things pop up that make it even more stressful. I told you about a situation I can't go into on the air right now, but where one of my sellers had a death in the family, not at the house they're selling, in the middle of this process. And that's very stressful. Rachel, and this is somewhat of a loaded question. What are two easy ways that an agent, when they're sitting at their computer desk, can, I'm going to say, take a beat, and you used a word before you went on the air, and ground yourself? What are a couple of simple, easy ways that an agent can go before they jump back into something?
So the number one most easiest way, and it's accessible to everybody, is the one thing that God or nature or whatever higher power you choose to believe in gave you naturally, and that is to breathe. So if you can, go outside so that you can get fresh air. Ground yourself by sitting or standing, sitting preferably in a good posture, both feet on the ground. If you can, find some earth, take off your shoes and touch the earth barefoot. Breathe in through your nose for however many counts you choose. Oftentimes we start with the count of 5 or 6. Hold at the top of your breath, maybe take another little sip of breath in. Hold for the same count that you drew your breath in, and then try to exhale slowly, with your exhale being just a few counts longer. So if you inhaled through your nose, I should say, for 5 seconds, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Does that make sense?
It does.
An interesting thing that came to me a long time ago was I had a friend of mine who was trying to quit smoking. And this particular person was in a high stress level office situation. And oftentimes he would go to his car and turn on whatever favorite music he likes that kind of chills him out, recline his chair back and smoke a cigarette. And his words to me were, it's that first big draw in and big draw out of the cigarette that just helped him ground. And he said he's having a hard time managing the stress because he's trying to quit smoking and he's not going and doing that ritual that he had. I said, go and do it without the cigarette, because you literally just explained breathing for stress reduction. And that I haven't read or seen it anywhere, but back then I was like, oh, that's pretty good. Because when you see smokers, it's that first big drag that they take and you can see their nervous system just kind of like, okay. When the reality, nicotine is going to increase their heart rate and it's going to do all of this stuff that makes their body go up into like high stress fight or flight mode. But it's that drawing in and that exhaling out that tricks them into thinking the cigarette is what's calming them down, but it's the breath.
That breath is almost a dopamine hit, but they're using the cigarette instead of fresh air.
Well, and that pattern of breathing affects and calms down the sympathetic nervous system. And it's when that sympathetic nervous system is stimulated and your emotions are going, and if you've got high cortisol levels going on, it triggers the sympathetic nervous system, and that's where we feel the anxiety. But that breathing pattern scientifically calms down your sympathetic nervous system. So it seems really simple, and people be like, that's too easy. That doesn't work. If you went out and did that breathing, gave yourself 5 minutes of just intentional breathing, you can probably shake off a lot of your nerves or anxieties or high stress situation, because you're bringing down your cortisol levels. You're calming the mind, and then you can go back into the office and tackle whatever's coming at you. The other thing is NFO, no freaking out.
It's the fun part. No, it's not.
It is the fun part.
No, it's not. I assure you.
But no freaking out. Because at the end of the day, and my mom's little famous quote is, if it's not okay, then it's not done.
I like that.
Something like that. Something like that.
I'm going to call her and ask
her. If it's not okay, then it's not over. Does that make sense?
It does.
So we all come into these very high stakes situations. Being a real estate agent, we're dealing with money, high sets of money. We're dealing with a lot of different people who are running on all of these different emotions. We have a lot of hopes and dreams in the air, right? And there's just a lot of players in these transactions, and it can get very, very stressful. But I have a buyer right now who got a little worried because there was some stuff about his documents getting his pre-approval that got set behind, and he thought he was going to have his pre-approval letter in his hand yesterday and we can start looking for homes this weekend. And he was really kind of upset about that. And I said, don't worry about it. No freaking out. NFO, no freaking out. Everything happens at the timing that it's supposed to. I know it's really hard in this space, in the real estate space, to take that kind of like that synergistic approach. But at the end of the day, what does getting worked up help? I mean, I've gotten worked up before. You and I call each other worked up all the time. It happens.
I get worked up? What are you talking about?
We're human, right? It happens. But part of that is just like some self-awareness of like, okay, I'm really freaking out right now. I need to have some self-awareness and go decompress for 10 minutes so that I can tackle this in an educated, empathetic way. And
I was going to say, we were talking about taking a deep breath. I've also heard, it sounds like, of course it is, but even getting a glass of water and taking that deep breath and drinking some water, not at the same time, having water is a cure-all apparently, and having a big drink of water and calming yourself down. Or calling somebody and saying, okay, I am freaking out. Please help me calm myself down.
Call somebody that you can be a lunatic with to just get it all out, right? Just like, I just got to vent. I got to say all of these things. It's going to make no sense. And there's probably going to be some bad words flying out of my mouth. But here we go. I just got to get it out. I mean, you and I have done that countless times.
Right. 100%.
Yeah. We're like, okay, cool. Go shoot. What you got?
So with what if somebody is in front of another agent or with an agent, or let's say they're with an agent. Let's say it's a buyer or a seller and they're with an agent, and that customer starts having a freak out moment. what is something not that the agent can help with because we're not them, but what would be a couple pieces of advice you could give a buyer or seller that obviously you just said it's a high stress environment and our job is to make it as stress free as possible. Most sometimes we can, sometimes we can't. Then people just go 0 to 10. Boom. Something that somebody could put in their back pocket and think about and say, I'm about to go into the freak out moment. What should I do?
So if I'm understanding you correctly, let's say I'm hosting an open house, I'm the representative of the seller, and an agent comes in with a buyer, and the buyer's agent's client is the one kind of like, okay, so, well, not my client. So maybe in that scenario, I step aside and out of the room. However, if it's not whether it is or it isn't, I feel that, and I just read this today and I wish that I could capture it verbatim, but I can't, it's just not there. The energy that you sit with or walk into a room with is going to be mirrored. Have you ever noticed if you're really high energy, it's like that energy bounces off of the other people and they react to it and they become very, very reactive?
100%.
So having an essence of just calmness, and you can do that breathing without being conspicuous. So if I have, like, oftentimes I've had clients call me and they're wound up about something and they're high level on the phone with me. I'm breathing and listening, and God gave us 2 ears and one mouth. So listen more than you speak. I say God, and that's right. I say God. Listen more than you speak. And tap into your empathy. Try to see where they're coming from.
I think that right there, that what you just said is something a lot of people forget to do, is they only see it from their own point of view versus somebody else's. And that's something that's sometimes it's really hard to do. Is my way is the only way. I don't care what everyone else thinks. And taking a beat and say, okay, this is probably why they see it that way. I keep using the word, let's take a beat,
If
take a minute and say, okay,
Remain calm, because they will mirror you. It will help bring them down. If you kind of imagine, if you think about like a very skilled martial artist, right? Like somebody like, I don't know, my husband. He doesn't walk around, and you've met him. He doesn't walk around high strung. He's very boom, right? He's down, he's calm because he knows the power of less is more, and and he has the confidence in his ability, and he doesn't need to boast it. So maybe as an agent, have the confidence of your ability and don't try and don't boast it. Just be very calm and center yourself and just wait. Just sometimes it's just about waiting and letting that. We just talked about calling up a friend and venting. That person's venting. Just let him vent. Just let them vent.
you as an agent, you may hear something that says, oh, and just that little nugget that they were venting about, like, that's what that hot spot is. Let's address that hot spot. Oh, switching gears just a tiny bit. Being we're in such a high stress environment, would you say people should take like multivitamins or I'm going to say calming inducing vitamins? I don't know what the word is I want to say. Are there foods or supplements that as realtors, it may be not a horrible idea for us to take it. Of course, always check with your personal healthcare professional, but your opinion.
Well, my recommendation is really the supplements that I would recommend are really for anybody, no matter what they do. And it's very basic. I mean, there's really great stuff out there, like, different kinds of herbs and mushroom blends and all of those things. But if you want, truth be told, I do not do well with taking a whole bunch of supplements on a regular basis. Try to eat a very balanced diet and get in my fruits and vegetables. Basically, anything from the earth is going to be very helpful. However, oh, good for you, Millie. You got your pineapple. Actually, the pineapple has got stuff in it that is very specific. I could go on forever about this stuff, but there is one thing, and you could look it up like on the internet, but what's so fascinating to me is almost everything that comes out of the earth resemble a body part or an organ that it specifically targets. So like very easy, like a walnut. If you crack open a walnut, it looks like a brain. And it's got those omegas that are brain building phytonutrients. It's amazing. If you look at
I'm never eating walnut. I'm never going to eat a
mushroom,
walnut again now.
if you slice a mushroom in half, it looks like an ear. The components in a mushroom are good for the cilia in the ear and your hearing. If you cut a carrot, it looks like an eyeball. The carotene in a carrot is good for your eyes. It's fascinating. Fascinating.
Now I gotta go cut a carrot in half.
You can look it up on the internet.
I'm gonna go cut a carrot in half.
It's very fascinating. Vitamin D3, zinc, vitamin C, magnesium.
Magnesium is one of the most underutilized nutrients out there, and it's so important. Having a low magnesium, you're going to have a cloud, you're going to be in a brain fog, you're going to have a low energy, and it keeps things bound together with other vitamins, which is amazing.
Well, magnesium is actually nature's muscle relaxant. So if you tend to get like muscle cramps or if you have tight muscles, it helps. There's different types of magnesium. That's not something that I'm going to get into right now. We just don't have enough time. But there's different types of magnesium depending on what you want. There is a certain type of magnesium that actually helps with your stomach and your food digestion because it helps loosen your bowels. So if anyone's out there is having a hard time with going to the bathroom due to stress or diet or other medications, make sure that you're getting your magnesium because it's very good for that. Your vitamin D is really important because that helps with your immune system, as does zinc. Vitamin D and zinc work together. And of course, vitamin C helps with fighting free radicals, which are the things in our environment that create damage to our cells. We can go deeper and talk about telomeres, which is, the protective endings of our DNA strands. That's a whole other issue. That's all about, the aging process, but it helps your body from the inside out, protecting your telomeres. I had a conversation about that in my office the other day with my founder, Shane. Telomeres is an amazing thing. And I would probably go out on a limb and say, if you don't want to do anything else, take care of your telomeres because that is the foundation. That is the innermost, deepest cells of our body.
Are you saying telomeres, like TELEMERS? Something like that?
Correct.
Oh, I spelled it right.
Telomeres. Correct. Yes.
Again, realtors are always running, doing this and that. What would you, other than my awesome pineapple that I have here, what would you say is a couple of go-to power snacks rather than In-N-Out or Burger King or or McDonald's? What's a good go-to power snack when you have a munchie other than those which are delicious to some people?
So your morning ritual is going to set your foundation. And boy, oh boy, I used to be so much better at it when I was teaching a lot of group fitness. I do have to admit my nutrition levels were way more on target back then than they are now. I'd say I'm probably like an 80-20 person versus before I was like 110% dialed in. But making sure you wake up and drink a big glass of water, if you can, with some lemon in it. That helps flush out your kidneys.
And not ice cold, I understand. It should be more like room
temperature is good, if you can. We're not going to be picky. Drink your water. If you got lemon, put it in. If you can drink it room temperature, do it that way. But water is water. And especially if you've got a very busy day, try to load up on water in the morning and then continue your water intake throughout the day and flavor your water with fruit. Flavor it with mint. I do much better doing that in the summer than I do during the winter. But we have a big mint plant in our backyard. We have a lime tree in our backyard. And oftentimes I'll put mint and lime in my water, shake it up, and it tastes delicious all day long. Good for you. There's Miller's showing us his water. Have stuff with you if you can. Pack a little food prep box if you can, with maybe some nuts, with maybe some dried fruit, maybe some string cheese if you do dairy. If you have a little cooler, pack some chicken breast, pack something that, do you have anything left over from the night before? A piece of steak or some chicken breast, some protein, a yogurt, cottage cheese. Make sure that you're bringing protein in throughout the day, but you do want it balanced with healthy fats and fiber so that you have a balanced meal.
I see, like at Walmart and grocery stores,
No.
let me finish that one. They have the protein packs that has
No.
I guess I gotta go take all mine back now.
I think that the industry is doing a great job disguising junk food as health food.
Wait, carrots and eggs.
Yes.
That's what I'm
fine,
talking about.
but you don't need to buy them in prepackaged.
Right. It is, for me, it's easier just to go grab that carrots, egg, chicken breast and toss it in my cooler and off I go. As you and I know that I'm on a weight loss journey, and I'm proud
Yes,
to say I'm 22 pounds down, I think now. Yay me.
I think almost 30 actually from the numbers you shared with me.
That's true. Yeah, yes. And drinking water and watching what I don't have an in and out up here in the crest. It's really keeping a knowledge base of what you're eating and doing. I just looked over and my dog just stole a napkin off the table and is walking away with it. Just grabbed it and started walking
That
away.
little rascal.
He's getting his fiber. Having the fiber, having the protein is definitely better than having that Hershey's bar. However, that Hershey's bar is delicious.
Have you ever been able to overeat apples?
Overeat apples?
Yeah.
Yes.
In other words, we can eat a whole bag of chips, no problem. Can you eat a whole bag of apples? No. The thought of it makes you sick, right? Because they're so nutrient dense and there's so much fiber that it triggers your body. It pushes out all of the hormones that said you've had enough to eat because that's nature's food. Stuff that our body doesn't recognize, like, Doritos. I could eat a whole bag of Doritos and be a happy girl for about, I don't know, half hour. And then after that, I feel like crap. But my point is you were saying I could eat so many Hershey's chocolate kisses. I could keep going with those. They're designed to make you want more. Can we eat a pound of carrots? No, because after as many as we're supposed to have, our body goes, okay, you've had all the nutrients you need.
Yes, right.
Can't argue with that, right, Miller?
Right.
But a bag of chocolate
my lemon water right there.
Yeah. There's your water.
Rachel, we have hit I didn't even give you the 29.
We didn't even get to one of them.
I know.
We can keep going. I'm telling you, I can talk about this stuff all day long.
And yeah, and we'll probably do this again. We'll probably do it when I'm not running all over the country and trying to get things handled, and we can get our guests all lined up.
Miller?
Are
you the one responsible? Are you running?
I'm trying. Not very.
Gas prices.
From I got to tell you, I filled up my car today. I drive a little Ford Focus, and it was empty. I filled up my car today in Ridgecrest. It was $93.
It's short lived. I promise you.
Okay,
I promise you.
$93. I'm like, hello, $93. So with that, Rachel, the co-host, is now back. Bing, she's back. Hi,
Hey.
Rachel. So next week we'll have another guest here.
I won't be here next week.
Rachel won't be here next week.
Or
Okay,
the
fine.
week after.
Or the week after?
I just texted you, but I don't think you saw it, so we'll have to talk about it.
I didn't see that.
He's looking at his phone.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we will figure that one out.
I can share with you really quick. I know we have to sign off. Next week, on Thursday, I will be wrapping up the side-by-side conference that we go to annually with our office. And then the following week, I'll be up in SLO celebrating my daughter's 21st.
That's not possible that she's 21. It's not even possible. Nope, not possible. Yeah. Very well. With that, Rachel, when people want to get a hold of you, whether it be health and wellness and or what you do full-time, real estate, what's the best way for someone to get a hold of you?
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Rachel@gradishomes.com is my email. Why don't you follow me on Instagram? I'm starting to put out some fun content. It's Rachel3Moreno on Instagram. My website is rachelmoreno.gradishomes.com.
I follow you on Instagram.
I know you do. You stalk me on Instagram.
You said, well, kind of. Probably. You can reach me at homeswithscottkmiller.com. homeswithscottkmiller.com, or my email, scottmiller@epique.me. And with that, I will hit the end button. Until next time, we'll see you here on the podcast with Rachel and Miller, Real Estate with Rachel and Miller. This is our second season. This was episode 14.
Correct.
With that, we'll bid you all farewell. And until next time, be good to yourself and someone else while you're at it. Take care, everyone.
Bye.